live. You see they're dry. You see there's no marrow in the bone. You see they're scattered all over the valley. They ain't even full skeletons. I mean, the bones are scattered all over the valley. They're just bones. But answer me a question, Ezekiel. Can these bones live? Ezekiel answers the only way he knows how to answer. Lord, you know. Critical race theory was born out of critical legal theory. Am I teaching y'all something today? There emerged two common beliefs linking all critical race theories. First, white supremacy has subordinated black people and other people of color. That's just a fact. How in the world are you going to fight against that being taught in any school? White supremacy has subordinated black people and other people of color. That's a fact. Why don't you want that to be taught in school? You let your schools teach us that Columbus discovered America. That's a lie. You let your schools teach us that George Washington couldn't tell a lie. That's a lie. You let your schools teach us that some slave owners were beneficent and good slave owners. There were no good slave owners. Anybody who owned people was evil. That's a lie. You let your schools teach us that Abraham Lincoln was good for Negroes. No, Abraham Lincoln was trying to save the Union. And Abe Lincoln himself said if he could save the Union and keep black people in chains, he would do it. That's a lie. Come on, somebody. You let them teach us about a white Jesus. You let them teach us that Native Americans were the aggressors. Come on, somebody. That white folk had a manifest destiny and that the Pilgrims were good at Native Americans. That's a lie. All day, every day, you let them teach us lies. All throughout my history in school, I was taught lies. But you got a problem with critical race theory because it teaches the truth that white supremacy has subordinated black people and people of color. The right to bear arms. Let me just back up a little bit and let me take you on back to the late 1960s when Ronald Reagan was the governor of California. And they were oppressing black folk, and a group of men and women known as the Black Panther Party decided that they were going to defend the rights of black folk. And the Black Panthers decided that the Second Amendment wasn't just for white folk. So they strapped themselves with guns and showed up at the Capitol in California. And when they saw them Negroes with guns, come on, somebody. That's why I say if you ever really want to get gun laws changed, just strap all these Negroes up. They'll change them laws before the week is over. When the Black Panthers, watch this, I want you to read, the California legislator passed what was called the Mulford Act. It was a gun control act that decided who could get guns, who couldn't get guns, what could be in your background, what couldn't be in your background. It was the first time in history that the National Rifle Association, the NRA, supported restrictive gun legislation, all because black folk had the nerve to get strapped. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, go get strapped. Amen, somebody. Y'all gonna say Bishop told us to get strapped. I said it. Go get strapped. It just got real quiet up in here. But y'all already know I'm a triple P. Amen. Y'all know what a triple P is, right? A pistol packing preacher. Amen, somebody.
All right, man. All right. Take care.
Talk to me, Daddy. Talk to me, Daddy. Talk to me, Daddy. Talk to me, Daddy. A positive attitude says everything about you. Attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. Every day you get up, you've been given a gift. That's why they call it the present. And it's up to you of how you unwrap it. So yesterday is history, tomorrow's a mystery, today is a gift. So don't let the pain of your past bleed into your present and poison your future. Stop replaying the movie, why did this happen to me? When it's done with you, be done with it. If it seems like you keep running into pigeons, it's an indication that you're flying too low. So set your sights a little higher. Remember, eagles fly by themselves. If you can see the invisible, you can do the impossible. Allow your challenges to be a stepping stone to propel you into new possibilities. So be discontent with your past accomplishment. You're only as great as your last success. So maintain your hunger and your passion. Remember this, within every seed there is a tree, and every tree there is a forest. Who and what you were born into is simply the environment to prepare you for your ultimate purpose. It was not a setback, it was a setup. Your purpose and potential is bigger than your past pain or problem. Another talk dedicated to you. Listen to your heart, don't let your mind fool you. Another talk dedicated to you. Whatever you do is gonna surely come back to you. Successful people will do the things they hate to get the things they love. Much of life is about sacrifice. You got to give up something to get. Success is not about what you've accomplished, but it's what you have overcome. For it's the test that you pass in life which qualifies you for the next level. You have to be willing to face your challenges and overcome them. Most people drive 12,000 miles a year moving forward, but most accidents are caused when they move backwards. You gotta stay focused on what's ahead of you instead of what's behind you. It's your daily routine that determines your success or failure. Whatever you practice at is what you become great at. What's more important than being intelligent is having the right attitude. Respect costs you nothing, but it will cost you everything not to have it. So don't be too smart for your own good. Remember, a hard head makes a soft behind. What's more important than your five senses is common sense. The heart of a fool is in his mouth, but the heart of a wise man is in his character. So don't sweat the small things. The answer for a short temper is a long walk. Be slow to speak, quick to listen, and remember this: you haven't lived long enough to know everything. Your character is what matters most. Once you have been labeled with a bad reputation, it's hard for people to see you any other way. A good name is worth more than all the money in the world. Your life is broken up into three parts. First you learn, then you earn, and then you return. You gotta get back.
90.7 WTCC. Good morning. Welcome to the Black Love Experience. Bishop Talbert Swan II in the building with you on today. Good morning to everybody in the Pioneer Valley, in Massachusetts, Connecticut, New Hampshire, Vermont, wherever you are in the valley. Good morning to each and every one of you. Good morning to each of you that are chiming in over the World Wide Web. Those that are simulcasting on Hope Radio, those in the Twitter space, those on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, wherever you are chiming in from. Tell a friend, tell somebody. Bishop is on the air right now right now, and want to talk. The main thing I want to talk about today. A couple of things I might hit on. Um, a lot of folks are mad at me because I raised the question about Letitia James, the Attorney General in New York, announced that she's doing a drag queen story hour at a public library, and this is something that has been going on around the country. And I raised the question: why do our babies need to be entertained by drag queens? And of course, all of the wokey woke people are saying it's not a big deal. It's just people dressing up and entertaining children. No, that's not what I've seen. I did a search, I did some research, and I've seen some very sexually provocative foolery going on with drag queens twerking and sliding off poles and doing all that kind of stuff in front of babies. And that's not cool. Bottom line is, let children be innocent. Let them be innocent. Stop. This is where the Democrats and folks who talk about diversity, inclusion, all that stuff. This is where they get off track, and this is where they lose a lot of black people. Black people who may support their social policies. When it comes to a living wage and social justice issues and that. But then y'all get twisted when it comes to the sexuality things. Y'all cross a line, and then you wonder why the support of black males in particular has now dwindled below the 90% mark for your party, because you keep up with this foolishness. You can't get the Democrats to commit to reparations. You can't even get Biden's administration to talk about reparations. They won't even talk about the study of reparations, which is where it all started from. So they won't talk about reparations, but they'll jump up talking about supporting drag queen story hour and stuff like. Come on, y'all, stop it, cut it out. That's not the main thing I want to talk about. Throw that out there, since a lot of y'all are trying to jump down my throat about it. Oh, you're a Republican now? No, I don't have to be a Republican because I don't want my grandbabies being entertained by drag queens twerking. Okay, that ain't got nothing to do with Republican or Democrat. So you're not gonna catch me in, like Chris Rock said, the woke trap. All right, woke does not mean you just go for everything, any and everything. No, that ain't what that means. Anyway, I know I'm starting out a little controversial, but it is what it is. Tell somebody the bishop is on the air right now. What we're going to deal with today, we're going to deal with the San Francisco Board of Overseers came up with a proposal for reparations for black people. And Reverend Amos Brown was part of that, promulgating that proposal, where they decided, and give you the specifics, but one of the main things was they decided they were going to give $5 million payments to every black person who fit the qualifications in San Francisco. Then the San Francisco branch of the NAACP comes out with a statement opposing cash reparations payments. Huh? What? So, I hit up some of my friends in the association because as an NAACP president, I was baffled. I'm like, what is going on? First, I went to make sure that this was not a national policy, because I said if it was, I was going to have to break rank. And of course, it's not a national policy. And most of the people in the association that I talked to were just as baffled as I was, and basically had the same sentiment that this is absolutely crazy for the San Francisco branch to have issued that statement. So we're going to talk about that. 413-736-2781. 413-736-2781 is the number if you want to chime in on the conversation. Tell somebody Bishop is on the air right now. We talking about reparations, the NAACP, and we're gonna chop it up. Stay with us. Don't go nowhere.
The essence of life is growth, but the essence of growth is change. The being in the road would be the end of the road if you refuse to change. Reach a little higher, reach a little higher, dig a little deeper, dig a little deeper, go a little further, go a little further. Come on, come on, come on. Reach a little higher, come on, yeah. Dig a little deeper, dig a little deeper, go a little further, go a little further. Come on, don't stop. The essence of life is growth, but the essence of growth is change. The being in the road will be the end of the road if you refuse to change. Your life will never change until you get disgusted with where you are. Whatever you don't hate is what you tolerate. You must learn from the past, plan for the future, and live for today. For it is your daily routine that determines your success or failure in life. It's the choices that you have made up until this point that will determine the rest of your life. So break the cycle that doing enough is simply good enough. You only get out what you put in, so don't settle for the crumbs when you can have the whole loaf. So push yourself beyond your limitations. Come on. Reach a little higher, reach a little higher, dig a little deeper, dig a little deeper, go a little further. Don't stop, don't stop. Come on, don't reach a little higher, reach a little higher, dig a little deeper, dig a little deeper, go a little further, go a little further. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. So you gotta break the routine of trying to beat the system. Manipulators will always try to bypass the process for the quick progress. There are no shortcuts to success. There are no elevators to the top. You got to take it one step at a time. You got to break the routine of allowing others to get into your head and control who you are and where you're going. You see, when you're about the positive, you're going to always have haters. But don't let your haters push you down. Let your haters push you forward to the next level. So when people show you who they really are, don't perceive them to be something else that they're not. See, a zebra does not change his stripes. So you got to keep pushing yourself to the next level. Yeah, there you go. Come on. Go a little deeper. Come on. Yeah. Go a little further. Go a little further. Don't stop. Come on. Don't stop. Come on. Yeah. Reach a little higher. Reach a little higher. Dig a little deeper. Dig a little deeper. Go a little further. Go a little further. Don't stop. Come on. Come on. Come on. You got to understand that greatness is the nature that you were born out of. You'll never discover your greatness without hard work and dedication. Greatness says more about who you are and what you expect for yourself. And greatness will always attract greatness. Show me your friends and I'll show you the future. You're just a step away. You're just a step away. You're just a step away. Don't ever give up. Come on. You're just a step away. You're almost there. Come on. You got to push yourself beyond your limitations. You see, there's no mountain too high, no valley too low. You can go where you want to go. It's all in the power of your imagination. If you can see the invisible, you can do the impossible. So stretch yourself. Take yourself to the next level. Come on, come on, come on. Reach a little higher. Dig a little deeper.
In the mirror and I like what I see. A strong, beautiful black woman staring back at me. One who's seen a lot of pain and had her share of sorrow, but who never gave up hope for a brighter tomorrow. I've been lied to, cheated on, stolen from and hid, but it just made me stronger and I refuse to quit. That's right. And though I've been tempted, I refuse to stoop to their level. Don't go down there. I rose above that nonsense and made a liar of the devil. All right now. The devil who said I wasn't good enough, cute enough, or worthy of love, I kicked his butt with divine power from above. Power that says I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me and brought me out of darkness so that I could see that I'm smart, I'm beautiful, I'm a child of the King. Abundant love from me he came to bring. Oh yes, when I look in the mirror, I love what I see. That strong, beautiful black woman, that woman is me.
413-736-2781 is the number here. If you want to chime in on the conversation, welcome to the spoken word, to another, I'm sorry, that's what happens when I'm hosting two shows. Welcome to the Black Love Experience, the Black Love Experience. Every Friday, the Black Love Experience. Every Monday, the spoken word radio broadcast. Welcome, everybody. Tell a friend, tell somebody Bishop is on the air right now. Now here's what I need y'all to do for me. It's my wife's birthday on Sunday, and I won't be back on the air until Monday, to the day after her birthday. So I need y'all to drop in the comments, wish First Lady Cynthia Swan, wish her a happy birthday. Can y'all do that for me? Just drop it in there. Wish her a happy birthday. I ain't gonna tell you how old she is, but wish her a happy birthday. So that's her birthday weekend. All right. St. Louis is in the house. H-Town always in the house. Lafayette, Louisiana is up in the building. Buffalo is in the house. Swingfield, Massachusetts is in the building. Come on, rep your city, rep your town. Let me know where you're chiming in from. I need to know where y'all are coming in here from. What part of the nation, what part of the world? Toronto, Canada is in the building on the gram. Los Angeles, California is in the building. Come on, rep your city, rep your town, where y'all coming in from. Do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, send it to somebody. Houston, Texas is in the house today on this Friday. TGIF, thank God it's Friday, is in the building. New York is in the building. New Jersey is up in the house. The ATL, Hot Atlanta, Georgia, is up in the house. Florida's in the house. What part of Florida? Florida is in the house. 413-736-2781. 413-736-2781. For those who want to chime in on the conversation. But let's get into it. Reverend Amos Brown, longtime civil rights activist, member of the national board of the NAACP, president of the San Francisco branch of the NAACP. He was part of the group that was proposing, that wanted Black people to receive $5 million in cash payments for reparations in San Francisco. And now he and the NAACP are rejecting that proposal. Not only is he a national board member and a local president, he's also the vice chair of Governor Gavin Newsom, Governor of California, Governor Gavin Newsom's 9-person reparations committee. Okay. He's also part of the San Francisco African American Reparations Advisory Committee, the committee that published the $5 million proposal back in December. But now he says, and he's trying to, after the backlash, he's trying to backpedal on it. But in the written letter, they were very specific. He said the money would be better spent in the community. And let me pull up the letter, because it's important to know exactly what he said before you hear what he said in response to what he said. Because, like I said, he has come back and backpedaled on that whole issue. You know, he has decided that it was too hot, and he was going to clarify what he meant when he said what he said. But let's first see what he said. Now, so let me read to you what they said. All right, and this is on the San Francisco NAACP branch letterhead that was posted by the San Francisco branch of the NAACP. Okay, this is what they put out. So I'm not going. We're not going to deal with his clarification before we deal with what they actually said. Now, at the header of this is dated March 14th, 3 days ago. It says San Francisco NAACP rejects. This is in red letters at the top of the letter. San Francisco NAACP rejects $5 million reparation payment to blacks. Call for reparations to focus on investments and opportunities in 5 key areas at Board of Supervisors meeting on reparations today. This is what it says at the top of their letter. Now, I know he did an interview with Mogoldon News and said he is not in opposition to cash payments. He just wants it to be realistic, and $5 million wasn't realistic. That's not what this letter says. That ain't what the letter says. The letter says clearly, San Francisco NAACP rejects $5 million reparation payments to blacks and calls for reparations to focus on investment and opportunities in 5 key areas. And then when they outline the 5 key areas, they don't mention an alternative proposal of cash payments of a lesser or greater amount. So here's the 5 key areas that they talk about. Well, let me read some more of the letter. The San Francisco NAACP today called upon the Board of Supervisors to reject, second time they use it, reject, okay, to reject a one-time $5 million reparation payments to blacks, but instead called upon the city to make investments in 5 key areas to atone for a history of racism, discrimination, and mistreatment. The Reverend Amos Brown today said that the Board of Supervisors, which is holding a hearing today at 3 p.m. on the city's reparations plan and Dreamkeeper initiative, should redirect its focus on providing 5 key elements as part of reparations: education, jobs, housing, healthcare, and a cultural center for blacks in San Francisco. A cultural center. 400 years of enslavement, brutalization, lynching, murder, dehumanization. Give us a cultural center. Lord have mercy. Let me finish reading. We strongly believe that
Creating and funding programs that can improve the lives of those who have been impacted by racism and discrimination is the best path forward toward equality and justice, Brown said. He called for the city to 1, invest in education, 2, economic empowerment, 3, housing, 4, healthcare, 5, Fillmore Heritage Center. And there's a description under each of those 5 headings. But this is the crux of the letter. This is the letter, y'all. I'm reading directly from what Reverend Amos Brown and the San Francisco NAACP said. Nowhere in the letter does it say we believe $5 million per person is unrealistic, and we suggest $3 million or $1 million. They have nothing in here that indicates that they support cash payments for reparations. Nothing in here. But twice in here, it says they reject $5 million reparations payments to blacks. So if in your letter, twice you say you reject cash payments and say focus on these 5 areas, and nowhere do you provide an alternative to the 5 million, how do you then come back and say, oh, well, no, we're not against cash payments? That's sure what it seemed like to us. I mean, is I not reading this right? Did I misunderstand something that's in here? They clearly said the money would be better spent in the community. Better spent. Instead of giving y'all Negroes money. Better spent. And here's the thing. Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. Every community in America, because of the 400 years of oppression of black people, ought to be investing in education of our children. Ought to be investing in economic empowerment and in health care to deal with the disparate healthcare outcomes among black people. They ought to be doing this. Not doing this as a form of reparations. They ought to be doing this, period, in addition to reparations. Not either or. I mean, where do these folks get off that, educating our kids? Hell, we pay taxes. They ought to be educating our children anyway. We pay taxes for them to do that. That ain't nothing extra that you giving to black people as a favor or as some type of reparative process to atone for the sins of the past. That ain't what that is. That's what you ought to be doing. As a taxpayer in the city, my child ought to go to a good school. That's not reparations when you do it for white folks. Where do black folks get off thinking investing in education is a form of reparations? So the city's appointed committee, which included Reverend Brown, proposed a $5 million payout to black adults who are descendants of enslaved people, a guaranteed annual income of at least $97,000 for every black adult for 250 years, trying to make up for the years of enslavement. Guaranteed annual income of at least $97,000. They also proposed the elimination of all personal debt. And then they proposed that everybody would be able to buy a home with a price tag of just $1 per family. I thought that was a heck of a package. Made me want to move to San Francisco. but you had to be a resident at least 10 years to qualify. So I wouldn't. But I made $5 million, guaranteed $97,000 a year for the rest of my life, elimination of all my debt, and buying a new house for $1. That's a heck of a reparations package. And then the NAACP comes back and says, nah. Don't give these black people that. Just invest in education and in health care and give us a community center. What? Oh my goodness. So then Reverend Brown goes to Twitter and he says this, quote, "We strongly believe that creating and funding programs that can improve the lives of those who have been impacted by racism and discrimination is the best path forward toward equality and justice," end quote. So, making sure they have home ownership where they can build generational wealth, pass it down to subsequent generations, wiping out all their debt, giving them an influx of cash. That's not a good path forward. Just fund some programs. Give us a cultural center. One cultural center in San Francisco. Oh my God. You have got to be kidding me. Listen, understand this. Reparations is not a favor. It's not an entitlement. It's not something that America should give black people out of the goodness of their heart. It's not an altruistic gesture. It's a debt that is owed. For nearly 250 years of free slave labor that made America the richest nation on the planet. You owe us. And see, when you owe somebody something, you don't get to say, this is an alternative. If you owe me $1,000, you can't go buy Starbucks and get me a coffee and buy me a shirt and then say, yeah, that's your reparations. That's in lieu of the money that I owe you. I'm going to give you that instead. If you owe me $10,000, you don't get to come over to my house and cut the grass and paint the fence and say, well, I helped you keep up your house, so I don't owe you your money. You don't get to do that. It's a debt. Write the check. That's what MLK said before he was assassinated. He was planning a second march on Washington and said, when we come to Washington, we're coming to get our check. He was talking about cash payment. Not, invest in education, invest in health care, cancel the student loan debt. No, pay me what you owe me. For the free labor my family gave to this nation to build it. It's a debt. It's not a favor. It's not an entitlement. It's not a handout. Good morning, caller.
Yes. Bishop Swan, a first step in reparation, while they are thinking about it, they could build poor people, they could build homes. Why they think
No, bro. I'm sorry. No. That ain't the first step to reparation. It ain't build me a home. Give me my money and I'll buy my own home. No, This is exactly what I'm just saying. You don't get to come up with some alternative way of paying me what you owe me. If you owe me $100, don't go buy me some shoes and tell me this is my first step toward paying you back. No, give me my money. Now, there are still systems that exist in America that are inherently racist. Systemic racism still runs amok in just about every facet of life in America. So they still have to move toward dismantling those systems and doing things that provide a level of equity and inclusion and equality. They have to overhaul the criminal justice system. All of these things that you're talking about that black people ought to get, they need to stop redlining us. They need to give us access to the same access to money and capital that they give white folks. They need to invest in the schools in our neighborhood. They ought to be doing that anyway. That's not reparations. Stop acting like America doing what it's supposed to do is reparations. It's not. It's not. Forgiving student loan debt after keeping us out of the public education system, keeping us out of America's institutions of higher learning, discriminating against us and not allowing us to go, they ought to forgive student loan debt. That ain't reparations, though. Y'all stop getting it twisted with all of these little investments.